Hi, Jess here. You're watching this video because you're about to undertake one of my breathwork classes. How exciting! Your life's about to change. It's going to get a whole lot more awesome. So well done for committing to take this time out for yourself to really work on yourself, for the inner healing, to raise your vibes, because when you raise your vibes, when you're feeling good, it's contagious and you'll start to feel good, the people around you will start to feel good, the people around them will start to feel good, and eventually the whole world will start to feel good. So let's get this out there. So this is how we're going to change the world, is by working on ourselves. You know, not trying to change anybody else, just working on ourselves and making ourselves feel happy. Okay, so just to get started, so Soma breathwork is a bit of a combination of all the other types of breathworks out there. So it just sort of pulls the best bits out of each breathwork modality. So a lot of you might have heard of Wim Hof breath or holotropic breathwork, biodynamic, etc. So it really just sort of pulls out the really good bits out of that. And the other good thing about Soma is, unlike the other breathwork types, it's something it's regenerative and restorative, so you can practice it every day. Unlike something like holotropic breathwork, which is it's wonderful in its own right, but it's not something you can practice every day. So I myself, I've done 7 journeys of holotropic breathwork, and I compare that to Soma in this way. So holotropic is like running a marathon. It's hard and it's put stress on the body, but what you get out of it is amazing. Whereas Soma is more like a yoga practice, a daily yoga practice. You're putting in the effort, but it's got positive effects on your body only, no negative, stressful effects. And it's accumulative, so you practice it regularly and you start to see the results over a long time. Okay, so contraindications. If you are pregnant or if you have any heart or blood pressure issues, then you can still follow along with our awakening session. However, you do not, we advise you do not do the breath holds. And you'll know quite clearly when we get to the breath holds. Instead, you can just do some meditating or continue with the 4-4 or 2-4 breath work, depending on which session we're doing. Okay, if you have not already, please do check out my video that I've posted to the event page with just the 2 rounds of breath work. So that just gives you a little taste of what we're going into, and that way you would have had a little practice. It's not essential, but it is helpful. Now, there is a lot of science around breath work and Soma breath work even. I won't go into it right now, but if you do have any scientific questions, just post on my page or send me a message and I'll answer those for you. Otherwise, we'll be here all day because there is so much. Okay, what happens in a session? So in our session, if you haven't done the 2 rounds which I just mentioned, in the session we'll go through some affirmations, we'll do a little bit of chanting, and then we'll go into the breath work. So the breath work involves rhythmic breathing and breath holds, and we're going to do 4 rounds for our awakening session. If we were doing a different type of session, then it'll be different rounds. Now at the end we'll do a bit of journaling and reflection and some gratitude to finish off. Now, some things that you might experience during the session. Some people have visions. They can be pleasant or unpleasant. Downloads of information, so that's different for a lot of people. It might just be an idea, or you might have flashes of videos or pictures. That's sort of how I get my downloads, is through really quick flashes and a crack of sound, and that's not so common, but it happens. You can have an upwelling of emotions or an emotional release, not always a positive feeling. Can be fear, anger, jealousy, anything like that, sadness. As with all of the meditations I've gone through, whether you've watched them or not, Do not suppress any feelings that come up. Work through them. If you do not know how to work through them, just send me a message after the class, and I can point you in the right direction for those. So very important. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to yell, yell. If you need to laugh, laugh. Let it out. Really let it out. It is not disrupting your breathwork session if you let an emotion take over. It's come up for a reason. Physical sensations, you might get tingling, you might get full body vibrations, you might shake, you might twitch, you might feel some discomfort in different places. Just allow it. The only thing, if you do start to cramp, so your hands might sort of come in and your mouth or face might start to sort of come in as well, like that. It's very uncomfortable. That's something you would expect to experience in different types of breathwork, like holotropic breathwork, but not in soma. So what it means is you're not doing the breaths correctly, and you're taking in too much oxygen and not releasing enough oxygen. So if you do start to cramp up, just make sure you're breathing all of the air out. Don't panic if it happens. It's not gonna do any damage. It's just not what we're aiming for in this particular session. You most likely are, at least after say the third round of breath work, will experience overwhelming blue or white or purple lights coming from your third eye. So this is quite an incredible experience. Don't be afraid of it, just soak it in. Other people experience a connection to higher power. I'd say most do, whether that be God or the universe or spirits even. Just allow it all. And at the very least, you will experience peace, calm, and contentment. Okay, so for the session, just make sure you're in a nice, quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Make sure you've put on a heap of lip balm because you will be doing a lot of breathing. Make sure you've got a blanket just in case, and make sure you've got some water there. If you use crystals, bring your crystals along. If you have an eye mask or an eye pillow, bring that along. Between now and then, during the session, we will come up with a manifestation. So if you can think of something between now and the session that you really want, it can be a feeling, it can be a physical thing like a car, it could be ending the coronavirus. But just think of something that you really are wanting right now, but be careful not to think of it in the absence of. So for example, if I want to feel really happy, make sure I'm not saying, oh, I feel so sad, I wish I could be happier. You need to think of positive, I feel happy. So, or a car, oh, I don't have a car, I wish I had a better car. That's not the way we want to go about it. It's, I love my car, however, I'd love this new car. Okay. Now, before the session, make sure you don't eat anything within 2 hours. So before the session. So our session, if it starts at 10 a.m, make sure you eat your last meal at 8 a.m. A little snack won't hurt, but if you can fast for those 2 hours, then it's beneficial. Okay, and that is all from me. If you have any questions before the ceremony begins, please send me a message or comment, and I will answer that for you. Have a beautiful day.